Good morning. Hello, hello, hello to all of you out here in YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these other different streams. Hey, hello there, my darlings. Listen, I'm coming to you right now because it's been a long time coming. First off, let me say happy birthday to myself. Because I am in birthday season, honey. My season started February 28th and it goes until April 2nd. And I am 48 years young as of March 4th. So, darling, I am completely in birthday mode right now. And here at the Donut Factory, and I want to sit down here and take a little time with all of you because we're getting ready to dish this tea. You understand? So, for those of you who are new to me and don't know who I am or what I'm all about, honey, my name is Demetrius Big Meats Taylor, and you are dishing tea with Big Meats right here live on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter. Now, I'm trying to sit here and do this right. They want me to shoot this in landscape, but the way how my camera is going, I don't like the angle on this camera. So I got to sit down here and make sure I'm looking directly into the camera lens so that I'm not looking like I'm looking off and into space and shit. But okay, that there is cute. There we go. Okay, we're doing a little better now. So as long as I do that, let me bring it a little closer to me. Okay. So here's the ticket, children. Um, well, first off, let me say this. Please, if you like what you're hearing or want to comment, if you want to debate it, if you want to share your thoughts about it or whatever, please feel free to follow me. You can follow me here, subscribe to the button here, Big Meech One right here on YouTube. You can follow me anywhere you want, honey, Big Meech, and that's Meech spelled like peach with an M, Meach. Follow me on all of my social medias and carrying on Instagram. I am Big Meech 7109. Here on everywhere else, I'm Big Meech One. The Big Meech is the number one, and on Facebook, I'm just Big Meech. Okay, so follow me there, subscribe, or you can go to my website at www.dishingtea.com. That's www.dishingtea.com. Okay, we're going to get this. We're going to get this on and popping. Okay, like I said, I'm at the donut factory, honey. So if y'all hear outside noise or see me grabbing keys and shit, it's because I'm still having to take care of business here on this end, and I'm pulling double duty. But the whole nature of this particular conversation, babies, is because I want to give my commentary finally on this whole saga debacle thing regarding Monique and versus Netflix versus Oprah versus Tyler versus Lee versus Steve Harvey versus Sheryl Underwood versus Charlemagne the God versus Lionsgate, and basically versus anybody who she feels disagrees with her or who she feels as though do not believe in her stance. Okay. Now, for starters, I'm going to say that I'm hoping to be as objective as possible in my commentary. However, I'm very passionate. So you're going to hear some things, honey, that may sound as if I'm going against her or whatever, and maybe I am. But at the same time, honey, I'm hoping that you hear what I have to offer. And this makes for wonderful, wonderful, wonderful study, because I'm going to make sure she gets a copy of this. I'm going to make sure we tag the link to her on Twitter. I do have an email for them, she and her husband, Sydney. And we're going to. I hope that they take it in love, because right now I believe that my particular perspective will give them something to think about. Okay, hopefully that's my goal or my intention. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's get started with it. First, let me start off by saying this: that I really believe truly that most folks who listen to this. We're not sitting up there and saying that she should have taken the deal. Those of us who are, there's very few who say, oh, bitch, you should have just took that money and went on about your business. But that's because they're only here $500,000. You have not heard what that turns into after taxes and this, that, and the other. Excuse me. You've only heard $500,000. And for those of us who don't know what that looks like and carrying on, are not accustomed to that kind of money, those who only making $25,000 or $30,000 or less a year, that money seems like it's everything, okay? So those who are saying, girl, you should have taken that money may not understand the nature of the beast. But for the most part, I really believe that most of us who are in disagreement with this whole particular saga or whatever, we're not in disagreement about the money because we all know that she's right. That damn contract, honey, or the offer was a low ball offer. Let's start there because I don't want to get it twisted. I don't want you guys to think that we're that Meech is coming against her about the money and carrying on because it was lowballed. That there was lowballed, and in this particular case, she is right. Her resume alone should have said that just to get this thing started, it should have started coming in with at least 2 to 3 million started in because she's an Oscar winner. That's simply because she has done the work and won the Oscar. I don't give a damn how long ago it was. She won the Oscar. So that there should have taken her up into 7 digits automatically. Here is where the rub comes in with everything else because we've heard all of this and this, that, and the other. The reason why, well, a few reasons why I'm upset with her tactics. Because as you see, I titled this, Right Fight, Wrong Tactics. Okay? I say wrong tactics because she keeps saying that folks like Steve Harvey and everybody keeps saying she's right. She's right. But nobody sits down there and tells her, okay, or want to stand behind her. And she said, well, if I'm right and you think what I'm doing is wrong, then tell me how I should have done this. What is the right way to do it? How is it? How long do we need to step aside? And, she tap dances around all of that. Well, how long? When is the next time? Why do we got to go for the next time, the next time, the next time? Well, honey, here's a couple of things. The reason why I say these are the wrong tactics, because let's look at this. You're asking poor people who have gotten rid of their cable at $175, $200 a month. They got rid of their cable to go to Netflix or a Hulu or something like that. And let's just stick with Netflix because that's where your fight is. You're asking poor people to boycott Netflix, not pay them money, not subscribe to them, and they said this, that, and the other, so that you can get a bigger payday. Okay? So that you can get a bigger payday because you're saying that this is all about equality. You're saying that this is for black women and women of color everywhere. No, it's not. In the long run, it may be, depending on how you come out of this. But let's understand this. In the short term of this, no, it's not for everybody. God damn it, bitch! This is for you. This is for you to get your coin together because they lowballed you. So let's be honest with that first. The struggle may be long term. Okay, but right now, the short term of this is that you have not agreed to or you have not acknowledged is this. This here is for you. This ain't got shit to do with Tiffany Haddish. This ain't got shit to do with those comedians who come after you. This ain't even got nothing to do with those who came before you. This here is all about you. You're asking poor people to give up paying $14.99 or $24.99 or hell at the basic rate $7.99 a month so that they can support you so that you can get a bigger paycheck. Now, what are they supposed to do in the interim, sugar, if they boycott all of this? Because when folks told you to take that and don't do that deal, go someplace else, your thoughts were, why do I have to go to the next place or whatever? Why do we have to go to the next place? So why is it that you're going to throw that onto those poor people and those who feel as though that Netflix is their source of entertainment? Why would you put that in their laps just so that you can collect on the bigger payday? Is that at all fair? Because in the interim, until they come around to give you your payday, are you going to entertain these people while they're boycotting you and supporting your boycott? Have you thought about it from that particular perspective? And I'm not trying to, and hear me, I'm not sitting there trying to make this a complete read or whatever. I'm sitting there trying to point out a couple of elements, honey, that maybe you have not thought about in this, which is why I say the tactics are wrong. You're asking poor people who have to budget their money, who may not afford the tickets to come and see you live. They catch you on the specials. They catch the reruns of the Parkers. They catch the reruns of Fat Girls. They catch Precious. They catch what's the other Lee Daniels movie that you did? The Shadow. I think that's the right name. They catch all of your work, honey, on these particular on Netflix. I'm gonna stay with Netflix. They catch your work there, sister. And yet, because even you said on The View, honey, or was it The View or was it Charlemagne, whatever, The Breakfast Club, that they do have your stuff up there on Netflix. Okay, you don't know how well it streams or whatever because you don't get that particular coin or that particular information. So, okay, that's cute. So you're sitting up there wanting poor people to boycott and give up their source of entertainment from their television, from their phones, from wherever, so that you could get a bigger paycheck because the deal was faulty. Is that fair? And you want to chastise folks or get mad at folks, or no, I'm not going to say you get mad. I'm overstepping. I'm overstepping. What it is that your supporters are calling people coons and calling folks buck dancers and carrying on because they're not standing with you about this whole particular boycott. You want to sit down here and you want to pull, now what you will do is pull the race card because the Dave and whoever, the two white children whose interview you went on, who shut down their show and said they're going to boycott because this is racism. You use the racism card all day by saying they're willing to do it. But people of color are not willing to do that and carry on, to stand in solidarity because they don't see the struggle. That's a lie. They see it, but like I said, right fight, wrong tactics. How in the fuck you gonna sit down there and have somebody give up their form of entertainment so that you could get a bigger paycheck and then you have nothing to show for it on the back end, so where folks are going to be entertained throughout this boycott? Now, y'all, you and Sydney love to sit down here and want to compare, and y'all want to bring in, struggles and anecdotes and carrying on from the past and talk about what it is to be black in America. And oh, remember that this is sticky and oh, these brothers there. Y'all love to do that to fuel your fight. Well, honey, let's talk about boycotting because, see, when they boycotted the buses in Alabama, darling, that was for a year and a half. Them bitches and stuff had to walk. The children walked. And during that time, didn't nobody necessarily come to their rescue, except for those who were turned up there trying to make a difference to get a carpool and carrying on. And then their lives became in jeopardy and carrying on. So there was a year and a half that boycott went on before the town or the children decided to get together and make it possible for the folks to sit down there and pay their money, get on the bus and sit whatever. So let's use that as an example, that little time frame. So what are you going to do with these children for a year and a half, or until Netflix decides to come around and maybe you not be the one who get the multi-million-dollar deal. Maybe the next person gonna get it and this, that, and the other. What is that for you? Okay, what are you going to do with these so-called supporters within that particular time frame, sister, to where you want folks to boycott Netflix for you? It doesn't bother me because I don't have a Netflix subscription. So whether the boycott, I don't think boycotts work, okay, per se or whatever, because I think we target the wrong people. If you're trying to get at them, you go after the advertisers of the companies, not the company itself, because, hell, they still gonna make their money through the advertisers. If you want them to boycott, honey, tell them to go boycott whoever advertises them. They may boycott Coca-Cola. They may boycott Procter and Gamble and carrying on. But we are too vested into the product line in order for sufficient boycotts to work. So I'm not saying I don't see how this is going to work. Right fight, wrong tactics. Okay? Because until you sit down there and go public about how you're going to get folks or what you're going to do to entertain folks. Because are you going to sit down there and do comedy shows for free across the country? Are you going to sit down there, open up your doors and carrying on so that y'all can sit down there to entertain these folks on a daily basis because you want them to boycott Netflix? I don't see that happening, sister. I don't see it happening, and quite frankly, it's impossible. How would you set yourself up like that? You can't do it. So that's just one particular argument. Right fight, wrong tactics. Let's take that tactic out. Okay? If you want the people to be on your side, then you tell the people who are subscribers to sit down there and to write the letters in there. Tell the people to do your bidding. Let the people sit down there and fight for you, and let them sit down there and get in Netflix's ear, because they're the ones who are the subscribers. Let them do the talking for you, damn it. Monique need to be on. We need to see this. Tell them to sit down there. We got all kinds of campaigns and shit. You see what? Look at how they did with Betty White. The bitches campaigned for her to have a damn show on what's that? What's the chair? Saturday Night Live, where they had her to come on and wanted to host a Saturday Night Live. So we got all kinds of campaigns and shit that can happen. You get the folks to sit down there and to campaign for you to get a Netflix special that's going to be conducive. If you show the people that you got an audience that's going to subscribe to the fucking thing, then they have no choice but to listen to the people. Not you and your goddamn mouth, bitch, because they see you as an angry black woman who sit up there figuring out she got an axe to grind. Right fight, wrong tactics. Okay? Now, let's go here, because here's another thing that I think gets up under my goddamn skin with this. Okay? This is your fight that you have taken on because you feel as though you're supposed to, okay? Because you want to get your coin together. You keep saying that this is not just for me, but this is for black women and women of color, okay? And you keep wanting to compare what you're saying to Viola Davis. Okay, well, Viola and I are saying the same thing. This is not nothing new. This ain't nothing new that I'm saying. This has been going on for years. You damn right. It has been going on since the beginning of time. As far as women being paid less than men, as far as black women being paid less than anybody. Okay, that's been going on for time. All right, but here's my thing. Let's look at the platforms in which this is taking place. Okay, you feel as though you're supposed to take a stand and you're going to out these children. Okay, so if that's going to be your case and you want to be the radical for it or whatever, then okay, fine. But understand, sister, that your radical behavior is directly responsible for your income level. Because if folks are not going to sit down there and stand by you while you're doing this shit, that means that you're not going to be able to work. Now, that there is direct cause and effect. There is no way of getting around it. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Now, yes, are you able to work? Of course. Your supporters are going to be out there. It's like your ride or die folks, your down home, staunch supporters. They don't give a fuck if you sit down there and joke about the ABCs. Those who going to do it, they're going to be there. But the question becomes, now you got to sit down here and get folks to back it. You said something with Charlemagne the God, where he sat down there and questioned, how come you and Sydney are not sitting up there promoting your own shit? How come y'all not doing this? Your answer was, who books it? Do we book our own shows, or do we get promoters to book the shows, or do the promoters book it? Bitch, that was the wrong answer. Because you and Sydney are Hicks Productions, right? Y'all have your own production company. So as the Oscar winner, my darling, see, here we go. What is your power? What kind of power do you have so that you can sit down there and be at the goddamn table? How come you ain't got no producers in your back pocket, girl, and you got a fucking production company? How come you have not been able to partner with somebody and say, listen, this is what we're trying to do to make some shit happen, so that the money could come to Hicks Productions and not have to be split umpteen kinds of ways? I don't understand that. Your answer was, who does the bookings? Is it the producers or what? Why are you not partnered with producers, Oscar winner, so that your coin can be cute, so that you can have a base to where you are able to sit down there? Everybody keeps talking about show your analytics, show your numbers and carry on. Where are your numbers as Hicks Productions? You keep wanting to talk about that damn resume. Okay, girl, your resume speaks for itself. And I'm going to go here, because I didn't like this either. and I'm going to finish my point with Viola Davis in just a minute. In fact, let me tie all this in because, see, the whole thing is with the Viola Davis and carrying on, you want to keep comparing yourself and your comments to her and this, that, and the other. You keep wanting to compare what we saying the same thing. Yes, you are saying the same thing, but look at the platform that she's taking. Viola is saying this at the Oscars. Viola is saying this at the award show. Viola is saying this on every news program that she's on. Whenever they ask her about injustice and inequality, when she's talking about what it is to be a black actress in Hollywood, when they ask her about how to get away with murder, she sits there and says, yes, this is a wonderful platform, but it's wonderful now that women of color are getting a chance, but we need more. Her platform has been at a place where folks are going to hear it. You, on the other hand, my sister, you are taking, you like the Chitlin circuit, okay? It's like being on the Chitlin circuit. You are around the folks that's going to sit down there and give you your, okay, yeah, go girl, all right, girl. They're going to co-sign that shit, which we should. I don't want you to, and see, I think part of the misconception is a lot of people have been reacting in a way that is suggesting that your fight is invalid. And no, your fight is valid, but right fight, wrong fucking tactics. You're sitting up here wanting folks to jump on the bandwagon, and then I don't think that you're coming from a sincere place. Then let me just be honest. And I say that because every time the hard questions come, every time we get to talking about shit, you did want to sit down there and like going back to the resume thing. When you sit down there and they ask you about the promoters, about booking arenas and carrying on, your answer was, we want to sit down here. Who books it? Is it the promoters, businessman, or what? Because and then he said, when he asked you, do you sell out arenas? Your answer was, if given the opportunity. Bitch, that's the wrong answer. What the fuck you mean if given the opportunity? It is a yes or no question. And you didn't want to answer that. You answered it recently on your podcast when you want to sit down and talk about being on Whoopi and on The View, and then you talked about being on there. You answered it then by saying, I don't know, maybe I can't, or maybe I don't sell out arenas. Then you went to add and say, well, Richard Pryor didn't sell out arenas. Eddie Murphy didn't sell out arenas. Bitch, they didn't have to sell out arenas because at that time they were doing comedy albums. They were selling albums. They bought their audience because they still had revenue streams coming in. They sold albums. So they didn't sell out the arenas like that, but hell, they guaranteed that they could have an audience because they still sold albums. So sister, right fight, wrong fucking tactics. Okay? And then we're in a different generation. You are the generation after Eddie Murphy. Y'all not fucking contemporaries. You come after Eddie Murphy. So the times had changed. Now they're looking at arenas because who's cutting a comedy record nowadays? Yes, you did. Y'all did one for Queens of Comedy. Yes, y'all did. And it sold. It sold out. I mean, hell, how we met at the fucking drag show, girl, with Ivy. Rest in peace. You know, I don't know if you know she passed, Mo. The female impersonator who does Monique, yeah, we met there. Okay, so you got product and carrying on. So, but nobody is going into the recording studios to record comedy albums. At your shows, Mo, do you have equipment there to where the folks are recording you at your live shows to where you could sell it on the record? They could edit and cut it down to where you're selling albums. No, they're not. Because why? The medium has changed. Now it's all about streaming and live and this, that, and other. Technology has changed, girl. So now, yes, you need bigger numbers. You need arenas that carry on. And you need a crossover audience. Now, your husband said this. Your husband said this on Charlemagne the God, that your audience is primarily African American. Yes, you have Caucasians there, but your brand of comedy, honey, your brand of comedy sits down and it speaks to an urban setting. You speak directly to the hood children. You speak to the middle class children of African flavor, black folk. Okay, you talk about that kind of shit. You talk about folks from the hood of Baltimore, where you're from. Detroit can relate. Chicago can relate. Philly can relate. Okay, Oakland can relate. Okay, that kind of shit. That's what your audience base is. So a lot of this about analytics and carrying on about your numbers, girl, let's do the math on that. Now only you and Sydney know that, and your attorney, and those who crunch our damn numbers are carrying on, possibly your accountant and all of that. So you know what the hell you bring in, and you know how to target your show. You know how to sell your show. So Miss Thing, honey, you can't get upset when folks sit up there and ask you about these fucking numbers, because you keep wanting to throw your resume up in there. And then, yes, now to your credit, and carrying on, yes, they lied. Netflix lied when they said that they don't look at resumes and threw Amy Schumer's resume back up at you. Okay, well, she sold out this arena, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they lied. But here's the thing about that particular lie. Why did y'all go up in there arguing about her money and the kind of money Dave and Chris got to begin with, when you knew the contract was bogus from the start? If you know that independently on your own, that on your own merit, from your own bookings, a year you could secure $3,000 to $4,000, $3 to $4 million a year on your own merit. How in the fuck $500,000 is supposed to be some money, and they got you in an exclusive contract for 2 years where they want you to sit on your ass and you can't do nothing? Huh? So that there is where this shit's supposed to start from. Listen, I'm a local entertainer, honey. Hey, baby, it's already open upstairs. Uh-huh. I'm a local entertainer, okay? Local. Okay, I'm not nowhere near Hollywood or whatever. As a matter of fact, I don't even gig like I used to because I'm in school. You see, I'm here at the donut factory and carrying on. But the one thing I do know is this. Whenever somebody wants to book my brand of talent, the first thing is they ask me, what is it that I want? If they come to me with an offer, or if they come to me, we have to negotiate, because I have to sit there and say, listen, I usually charge this. Okay, but because you're on a budget, I'm willing to work with your budget if I want the gig. Okay, if I feel as though that the gig is important to me or whatever, then I have the liberty to sit down there and say what I'm going to do for free, what I'm going to do for this, what I'm going to do to help out a friend, or whatever the case may be. I choose that. But see, you said they came to y'all with a deal. The deal was $500,000. Okay, with an exclusive contract that they need you to sit on your ass. If you do this special, you got to sit for 2 years before you could do anything. Okay, now I didn't read the whole contract, but I did read that part. Okay, because I thought that was the most important part of it. Okay, now, if you know you can secure $3 to $4 million a year on your own, why in the hell did y'all sit down there and want to talk about Amy Schumer's money when you're supposed to say, bitch, wait a minute, honey, we got to talk about this because I do X, Y, and Z independently of that. That's not enough money. That's not going to do it if you want me to sit down here with my kids. I got to have a family. And then we talking about this is pre-taxes. See, this is the part that I want other people to get. $500,000 pre-tax is $500,000. But after they take out taxes or whatever, that's probably going to equate to about maybe just over $300,000, depending on your tax bracket. So your $200,000 or better is probably coming out in taxes. So you're talking about 2 years of sitting down on $300,000 as a payday for the kind of lifestyle that you have already become accustomed to. Hell no, there ain't no damn money. But why is it that we're not hearing that y'all went up in there the way that most folks would have went up in there and said, bitch, this ain't no money. How come I can't get at least 8? Because you want me to sit down on my ass for 8. I need you to start at 8 million because that's what I'm losing. Now let's talk about the rest of it. You did the movie Bestie Girl. Now I know your role as Ma Rainey should have taught you something, because hell, you did that so cutely to where I thought that's how you did your business. Okay, that role there was indicative of how I thought you handled your business and how you approach it. But apparently with this deal, y'all got to bumping y'all gums about Amy Schumer money, and then you got to bumping your gums about legend money and carrying on to where now the fight is not about equality, bitch. You want to sit down here talking about something, I'm a legend and I should be paid what the legends get paid. Now here's another fault. Okay, right fight, wrong tactics. Because you sit up there and say on Charlemagne the God, it's called the Breakfast Club. And I'm calling him Charlemagne the God because that is his creative name. Your creative name is Monique. You are not Mrs. Monique Hicks until it's business. You are not Miss Monique Imes. You are not even Monique Angela Imes. You are Monique. That's what the folks know you as. And so that there is what you want to be called. For you to call him Leonard because you trying to prove a point, I felt that was disrespectful. That was completely disrespectful. He's called Charlemagne the God. You could have sat down there and called him Charlemagne the God, just like you said when you sat up there the other day on your podcast. You said you supposed to be Charlemagne the God, but I saw a video with you getting your ass whooped, but you trying to run. Gods don't run. God said that's what you did. See, had you sat up there and stayed there and been true to the game, but you want to call him Leonard. And I thought that was very disrespectful. But that there is personal, and you had your reasons for it. And for the most part, it may have worked to get his attention and things of that nature. I just felt that that was disrespectful because you're on his show. They invited you to that particular thing, and you want to sit down there and prove a point. Because Leonard didn't call you donkey the other day. Charlemagne the God did. And that's who you were supposed to be speaking to. But you want to prove a point. But, okay, I digress. Let me get back to where I was. I'm still trying to understand why this whole particular deal did not go in the favor of you sitting down there making sure that you secured yourself for the 2 years that they wanted you to sit on your ass versus this becoming, oh, I'm a legend, where they say, oh, by the way, and then here's the ticket. It's even the way how you said they said it to you. You and Sydney sit there and say, oh, by the way, we think Monique is a legend too. See, let me tell you something. That sounded shady. The way how y'all presented that said that it sounded shady from the jump off Netflix. It sounded like they would just sit up there saying that to pacify you. And then you ran with it. Well, if you say I'm a legend, how come I can't get legend money? Bitch, stop. Do you really believe that they think that you are a legend, or were they saying that just to sit down there to say something because this became a riff? Because this became a bogus little something, so and so. Okay? That's what I'm trying to understand, because you ran with it. I'm going to tell you something else that you're running with that I think is partly fueling you. You keep telling everybody, well, Richard Pryor said this, and Richard Pryor used to call me Mrs. Pryor. And you said before that your colleagues at one point in time used to call you the female Richard Pryor. Okay, now for shits and giggles and carrying on, that may work. And that may be whatever. But I'm going to tell you how it's coming across in my ears. And I could be completely wrong. It could be just an opinion. Folks may disagree with me or whatever. But however, the way how I'm hearing all this, when it translates to me, it seems as though that you are using that as a stepping stool. You're using that as a footstool to where it's supposed to mean something to everybody else. Well, hell, if I'm the female Richard Pryor, then hell, that means I'm good, I'm a great, I'm a this, I'm a that, and hell, I'm supposed to be getting this kind of money. And that's not, and that's how it's sounding. And if it's sounding like that, every time you say, in my humble opinion, that goes out the motherfucking way. That goes out of the woodwork. That goes out of everything else. That goes out the water. Because ain't nothing humble about that, bitch. That becomes arrogance all day. In my humble opinion. Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about that. Now, y'all say that, first you say it's all about equality. It's all about fairness. It's all about this. It's all about that. Then when you're challenged, because Charlemagne challenged you and said, what makes you think that you deserve $20 million? Because your current stuff is not known. Nobody knows your current stuff. You're not pulling in the numbers. When y'all say y'all mad at tanking them for the new man cave thing that's about to come on TV. You saw the little promos about that, and you say you're upset about that. Show the analytics. Show the analytics. The analyticals, okay? You're mad about that. Well, honey, numbers say everything. You keep throwing your resume up, and what are you quoting, girl? You quoting numbers. You quote numbers. You keep saying that Almost Christmas made 40 whatever $1 million with a $25 million profit. What's that? That's a fucking number, girl, that you're trying to hold up and say Amy Schumer's movie did $42 million, but it made $45 million, but $42 million was the budget, so it only made a $3 million profit. You sit up there, you using numbers. So every time somebody come to you for numbers, bitch, y'all want to sit down there and act as if it's a strange concept. And that's not fair. Right fight, wrong tactics. You sat up there and told Charlemagne and them that they didn't do their goddamn homework. Well, here we go, bitch. Where is your homework with your numbers? Because here I go, right here. As I said, Hicks Productions and you and Sydney Shit. That is your avenue. I got all the powers that be, all the power to the people, children, all the black conscious children. They keep talking about they mad at Black Panther, they mad at all this other shit about people, black folks who don't have their own production companies. How come we ain't getting that money? How come we not rolling that money around in the community? Well, y'all have your own shit, don't you? But let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about numbers, because everything that you have done under your own name, and I don't know if y'all were producers on Almost Christmas, because you never said that. You just acted in it. You was a part of it. You never said that, and I have not seen any information on that. Okay? But when researching Hicks Productions, yes, you have y'all got Blackbird, which is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal movie. Okay? You have something called The Five, the horror story, something or whatever. It's another thing that you got up under your belt. And then you got this comedy show that's up on Amazon.com that every time I've asked folks about it, ever since this fight started with you and Netflix, a lot of folks are unaware that you have a comedy special that's for sale up on Amazon.com. Amazon.com is a direct competitor to fucking Netflix because they both stream. What are your numbers? What are your numbers for that, to where you can use that as leverage to sit up there and say, this is what kind of audience that I have. We're doing all of this already on Amazon. How come I cannot have a bigger pay? You see what I'm saying? Y'all going there. Instead, y'all trying to make this something a universal thing. Name me a black woman who had the multi-million-dollar payout. Honey, that could have been you had you stuck to what it is that you know to do. If your payday for the year is $3 to $4 million on your own recognizance, damn it, you could have had the multi-million-dollar deal had you sat down there and told them, bitch, I make $4 million a year. 2 years for me to sit on my ass, that's $8 million off the riff. Just for me to sit on my ass for this contract. Then let's negotiate further because you want me to produce content. Now, the content is brand new material, brand new everything that you want that's going to sell on Netflix. That there's what we have to negotiate. That's what this should have been, girl. Right fight, wrong fucking tactics. That's how this should have been. Now, you want to know how you keep asking, what should I fight? That's how I feel it should have been done. Okay? Y'all sitting here pussyfooting around and going around all this old bullshit. And let me go here. Because you say that this was supposed to be gender bias and color bias. Charlemagne called y'all out on that and said, wait a minute, it can't be. Because it can't be gender bias because they hired Amy Schumer. It can't be color bias because they hired Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. So he said, be more specific. This is black woman centered. Y'all dismissed that. You dismissed it. So now the fight becomes what it is, what should it be? Because we can't say gender bias and color bias because that's not what this is. This is specifically black women or women of color who don't get the payout because everything that y'all referencing black women, Latino women, or other women of color who have not got the big payouts. So now, what is this fight really about? Okay, for you to want folks to boycott Netflix for you to get a bigger paycheck. And you say this is supposed to be fair and this is about equality. And none of that is saying equality on the level of where folks can understand it outside of you getting a big paycheck. When folks called into the show, when y'all were on Tom Joyner, and the woman called in and said, this is rich folks' problems, I don't understand this, you paused, and then you want to sit down there and get all Rosa Parks on me and shit, and now want to equate this to the struggle. Damn it, answer the goddamn question. This ain't got shit to do with the struggle because, see, Viola and them ain't together on that. They have not. Why haven't they rallied with you? Where are all the other black Oscar winners to rally with you? Because you're saying, I'm an Oscar winner and my resume is this. How come I can't get this payday? So now it becomes, is it the payday that you're sitting up there, you want equal pay for black women across the board? Or are you mad because you did not have negotiating rights? Because I'm saying all day, yeah, the deal was fucked. On a 2-year deal, that's what this should have been. And as far as I'm concerned, that's how you should have led this goddamn fight. These bitches want me to sit on my ass for 2 years and think I'm supposed to be. This fool's stupid. They want me to sit on my ass for 2 years and think $500 is supposed to do it. And they want me that I can't work, I can't this, I can't that. Okay, so that's where this should have gone. You sit up there and got black women mad and want a neck roll and shit, talking about some, this is color bias and gender bias because they only offer me $500,000, but they offer Amy Schumer $11 million. They offer Dave Chappelle $20 million. They offer Chris Rock $20 million. And then when Amy found that out, she went back and renegotiated and got $2 extra million. So now she got $13 million. And how come I can't get it? Bitch, wrong fight. I mean, right fight, wrong tactics. Because now, did you know, like I say, if you know $500,000 was an exclusive contract to sit on your ass and you make $4 million in a year and they want you to sit on your ass for 2, the fight was, I need 8 to start with, damn it, because you want me to sit down. Then we negotiate from there. That's the tactic. That's the fight. This ain't got shit to do with Amy and everybody else. First, we got to secure your coin to be right. That's the tactic. Because here's the question that I'm going to pose. If your coin had been right, if they had offered you and came in at $8 or $10 million, would you still been fighting? Because I think you could have got 10 million actually. If you had sat down there and said, listen, you want me to sit on my ass for 2 years. I can't do nothing. I can't record. You don't want me to use the jokes that I use in the show and carrying on. What? Okay. That's where you should have started. Okay. Then I believe you could have renegotiated. You want to now sit up there and take it to let. All right. I'm losing the connection. Hold on. You keep backpedaling. Or calling people out and saying that they backpedaling, but you keep saying that you're not, and yet you first sit up there and said that this is not about the money. This ain't about the money. Then you get on Sway in the Morning and you definitively said, I want Netflix to come to me and offer me a $20 million contract just like they did them. If they come and do that, we good. You said that on Sway in the Morning. Then you get to Charlemagne the God and you want to cat dance around this number, okay, and want to sit down there and get real philosophical and get, black sister girl, we in this struggle. How come I can't? What makes me different? What makes me this? And then here is where it gets real funky. Daddy says over the telephone, it's not about the definitive number. It's not about a definitive 20 million. It's not about a definitive 13 million. What this here is about is making sure that we get a fair amount. See, that's a whole different fucking argument. That's a whole different argument. So now y'all done changed the game right in the middle of this shit. You get folks sitting up here saying, oh, Monique, I support you. That's right. They need to do better with black folks and blah, 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 blah. They need to do better. That's wrong for them. They shouldn't have stood up there and did this and did you alleged, you hot, you this. But now y'all changed the game in the motherfucking middle. I think it's because I'm moving and I keep going in and out of connection. But that's all right. We're going to finish this. When asked what would be fair, that in the beginning of all this bullshit, it would have taken momentum. A lot of folks would have been on the bandwagon from the jump because it would have had momentum. You see what I'm saying? And it would have separated this particular fight from all this Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, Lionsgate bullshit that y'all still harping on. And I'm sick of that bullshit. And I'm sick of it because, damn it, just like y'all everybody sitting up here waiting on the bigger person to make the fucking phone call. Okay? And I don't know how many phone calls that you've made, but see, now it done got to the point to where y'all want to fight dirty. You're putting this shit out here in the public for everybody to sit down here and to get to now we in the court of public opinion. Everybody got a fucking opinion about it. And y'all sit up there and did that because you went public with it. Mo, I'ma say this. And I keep saying this. And if you were tagged in it on Twitter, me and this girl Karen, we sat down there going back and forth because Karen is a staunch supporter. I support you, girl. I am a Monique supporter, but like I keep saying, right fight, wrong fucking tactics. Because you sitting up here, the way how you attacking this fight like a street fighter in a boxing ring. You sitting up there thinking because you know how to sit down there and do a karate chop here and there and Karen, no, you know how to flip a bitch over your motherfucking back that you gonna win this fight. This is a professionally trained boxer who know how to take a hit, who understands the relativity and the science behind a fucking punch. And you want to take your street fighting ass into here and want to sit down there and think you could take this motherfucker. Come on then. Because the wrong tactics, you ain't got shit on the table for this. And yes, you've been in Hollywood a long time, bitch, but you ain't Joan Crawford talking about, I know that I've done this the hard way. Don't fuck with me, fellas. You ain't Joan Crawford worthy just yet, bitch. I don't see it yet. I have not seen it yet. Because if that were the case, your name alone will have the power it needs to sustain everything. Your argument to folks was like, well, what have Dave done? Dave ain't been around in 10 years of this and that, but Dave Chappelle's name still holds weight. Chris Rock's name still holds weight. With the children sitting up there saying all this, they could still sit down there and pack the houses. All right. They pack the houses and the arenas and the this and the that like that. Now, I have not had this confirmed. I'm still looking to find out if this is true. Because if this is true, then damn it, this speaks for itself. When Dave Chappelle was greenlit and got his damn special, it is said that once folks found out that Netflix got 20 million new subscriptions. 20 million new subscriptions. Just off the fact of them knowing that Dave was going to be on. Okay? That there is what I mean by the power. What is it that your name is doing to bring the power? And you want to sit down there. Now, you may argue and say, oh, I got blacklisted. That doesn't mean shit because, hell, when Whoopi got blacklisted and our news, who was it, Tyreek Nasheed, sit up there and put on Facebook, this how Whoopi rolls, she cool dancing, she buck dancing, when she was dating Ted Danson and carried on her hand and had him come out in blackface at this particular thing. And she said she thought it was funny, whatever it was a joke that went bad and carrying on. And now she's been labeled a coon dancer, carrying on. She got blacklisted for a little piece of a minute. She didn't work for a little minute. But she still had a name to where she could still sit down there. Whoopi, hell, Whoopi is one word. She's a one name. You a one name chick. You always have been. This case, you came in the game as a one name chick. You wasn't Monique Hicks. You wasn't Monique Imes and then became Monique. You've always been Monique. You've been a one name bitch. So hell, where is your power behind that name? Where is your power, Oscar winner? That there should have been enough leverage to sit down there and say, I can do this. When y'all sit down there and did that, again, I'm going back to your numbers as Hicks Productions. Blackbird only got $78,000 in gross income. And yes, I realize that you only played 13 theaters. You had a small limited release. I realize that. At the same time, where is the power behind your name? Bitch, I got up early in the morning when it opened. Here in Atlanta, it was only at a couple of theaters. I got and saw the very first show of the day, the opening day that it opened at South Lake Mall. I was there. to see it on the big screen. I didn't buy it bootleg. I got a regular copy. Okay, because I knew you guys merchandising. You guys probably did better in your merchandising than you did when it was in the box office, which is another set of numbers that you guys have not. I'm not in your business. I'm just saying this because y'all so public with everything else. Here's as far as numbers and shit are concerned, what are those numbers? Because this is what everybody is doing, trying to figure out what your bank is. How can I bank on you to make this? Now, girl, you've been in this game long enough to know. You know this about your comedy shows. You know you got to sell X amount of tickets in order to clear X amount of dollars. Girl, this is elementary shit. This here's elementary shit in order to get the payout. You already know that. Now that you became a star, you got all that on the promoters and the gigs that carried on. You don't give a fuck about that because as long as when you step in the door, they got your money. You don't care how they came across it. You just want to make sure they got your money. The room can be bare as fuck, but as long as my money is right, it better be right. So you know what this game is as far as the payout is concerned. So now in order for the payout to be right, they got to guarantee that they're going to make that money plus. Oh, come on now, Ma Rainey. Shit, didn't you do that in the movie as Ma Rainey? When you sit down there and say, okay, we need this off the door. Now let's talk about that bar. Because they wouldn't go get all that. Bitch, we bringing the folk in. You finna make all that money off the bar. No, you gonna give us something off that bar because without us, you ain't gonna make that kind of money. Ain't that what you talked? You did that in the fucking movie, girl, as a character. How come this ain't being in your everyday life? Or at least it's not shown. I don't want to sit down there because, see, everybody have their own private business and carrying on. I'm putting it out there like that because y'all so fucking public with everything else. You want to talk about somebody else's money. You ain't talked about yours. Outside of the fact that it ain't right with this deal. How about that? Okay? That's the kind of shit. Right fight, wrong tactics. I have not heard you sit down there and say that you partner with any, going back to the Oscar winners that carrying on, other black actors. Where is Vivica? Where is Regina King, Regina Hall? Hell, okay, Tiffany Haddish even. You keep wanting to throw her up there, or everybody want to, either you throw her, well, you started, but throwing her name up. What about the Tiffany Haddishes? Then everybody's sitting up there throwing it back at you. Well, Tiffany Haddish could do this. Tiffany Haddish, they're throwing it back at you, and it's like, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? Where are these girls? Where are the new comedians? The comedians. You threw up Marsha Warfield and Thea Vidal's name, okay, on Charlemagne the God. Okay, you threw their names up and carrying on. Where's all that? Okay. Oh shit! I ain't doing my paperwork. Wait a minute. I'm sitting up here doing all this shit. I got to get my paperwork together. See what I mean? See, this is the kind of shit. Okay, that I'm talking about. You know, we so busy doing everything else instead of doing what we supposed to be doing, and I'm stuck in it too. Yeah, that's what I'm cussing my own ass out, arguing about your business and ain't taking care of mine. How about that? Ain't that irony right there? Huh? Okay. Now that there is real talk. So now, here's another thing that threw me off. Right fight, wrong tactics. That whole little reference that you did at the end, when you wanted to compare him to the man in the movie from Birth of a Nation, of how he had to degrade himself because he was made by the slave master to take his wife, or no, he didn't take his wife, he watched his wife go into the house because master called for her so she could fuck somebody else, a white man. And when the white man was done and finished with her, he then went and secured her and brought her out that house, or went to pick her up from the steps of the door and brought her back to their house. And you wanted to compare Charlemagne to that and say he is that brother. Bitch, how dare you? All because they don't agree with you. You want to sit up there and say that you saying that he's implying that a black woman's resume doesn't matter. No, that is not what he said. That is not what he said. What he did was challenge you on your numbers. He didn't say that. They sat up there and constantly said to you, girl, that your resume is what it is. But now, when it comes to these numbers that y'all don't want to listen to, Y'all keep want to tap dance around them numbers. Y'all keep want to tap dance and want to go into the struggle. You even brought his mama and his grandmama in it. Do you feel that they were unfairly done? Yes. He kept saying yes. Did that make her dunk the other day? No, that didn't make her dunk the other day, damn it, because shit, you keep talking about a damn resume. What happened? Now, let me take you back to your AT&T and Popeye chicken days. Damn it, when you sit up there and felt like you were not getting paid on the job based on your resume, what the fuck did you do? You upgraded your resume and went looking for another goddamn job. That's what we all do. If I'm not happy with the money that I'm getting here or not happy with the job here, we update our resumes and we do what? We go looking someplace else. And your response to going someplace else is, why does it always got to be the next time? Why can't we get the payout now? Because the payout now, these fuckers ain't giving it to you. So you got to go get it. Ain't that what you always say? You keep talking about that, bitch. I'm a businesswoman. I got to make this money. You got to go get it. Ain't nothing given to you. You said that on your talk show. You always said that. So what makes this any different? Because now you want to be a martyr and want to go down as the Rosa Parks no, not Rosa Parks. You said you were the Harriet Tubman, honey, of this particular thing here. Because you ain't saying nothing and this, that, and y'all keep wanting to reference that, and I'm having a problem with that particular reference. Because, sweetheart, I keep saying, like I said from the start, let's start honestly. The first and foremost thing is you are trying to secure your coin. This ain't got shit to do with the bigger picture of black women not getting paid fairly or whatever. Yes, it will eventually, but you're still trying to secure your coin. You're still trying to secure this whole I'm not blacklisted bullshit. That's all personal. So that you could get your coin. And that's something that you are not willing to admit to. And I have a problem with that because you're not being honest. You're not being honest. Okay? Now, let's go to something else. No, let me stay on this for a minute because I didn't finish my point with that whole Charlemagne the God thing and that birth of a nation. Because that was a low blow. That was really low. That was really low. And you just like these damn black conscious children, everybody want to sit there and want to call somebody a coon or they buck dancing and this, that, and other simply because he has not seen what you're seeing. Okay? Now, I'm sure you're going to get that across the girl, this is a part of life. Everybody ain't going to agree with everything. But yet you want to call him a slave and say that he is the brother who won't fight for his wife. Knowing that if he take up the fight like that, it was going to kill him. But you did not allude to this because the whole thing of it was in the beginning, before he brought the wife over there, he was going to fight in that movie. Look at that movie carefully. He was going to fight and the wife stopped him. The brother stopped him because he got that man and said, fuck it, she not going. They stopped him for the greater good of the people. She took the hit to make her sure that her family was not going to be sold, to make sure her husband was not going to be killed and sold off or whatever, or beat or whipped or whatever. She took that hit. She agreed to do it reluctantly to save her family. That's what you didn't say. And now imagine the embarrassment that he had to sit up there. Imagine what that is. That he could not do nothing. And what he did, it would have destroyed his family. It would have destroyed his kids. Separated all that. That's what he did. But that's not the part that you want to hear. You want to sit down there and criticize that man for not agreeing with you or not seeing your point of view. Right fight, wrong fucking tactics. That was a low blow, and I think you owe him an apology for that. But then again, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I always say feelings are real. Feelings are real. You can't help how you feel, but you can help how you react to it. So no, maybe you don't owe him an apology because if that's how you feel, fuck it, okay? I'm going to say that was wrong as shit. That was wrong as fuck. That was wrong as fuck. Point blank. Point blank. Okay? Wrong as fuck. Now, let's go here. The Whoopi Goldberg, because you on your podcast, this recent podcast, y'all want to talk about the Whoopi Goldberg thing, and you want to sit down there and you feel as though you're defending your husband and daddy. Okay. It tickles me because, see, Daddy has so many different references. Okay. I know as a gay man, honey, when we say daddy, honey, it's all sexual. Okay. And in the beginning, that's how I took it. I took it like, okay, okay, this her man, this, that, and the other, okay, do me daddy, okay, daddy, and it was cute. And he called you mama affectionately. Now you done set up that gay with a definition, girl. And because you defined it, now it has become a joke. And it wasn't intended to, and I'm sure you probably don't care because this is your marriage, and that's fine. It's just that it just have that ring, sister. And just stand in it because that's what you believe in. And I always tell folks, don't run from your convictions. Stand in it. And I know y'all saw the other video that I've done with you and about you and carrying on. They're, like I said, stand in it. So, okay, cute. But this whole thing and my whole thing is this. You believe he's the best manager for you because he has your interest at heart. He should. He's your husband. But the multitude of complaints that we have heard about you and your business stems from him. And you got an excuse for it. You say, oh, they just don't understand that, they this and they that. And, they try to sugarcoat it and they're trying to whitewash it and they're trying to this it and they're trying to that it and all of that. Okay. All right. They're trying to do all that. But then he felt the need to want to justify his credentials. My credentials is I've been doing this since I was 19, closing 6 and 7 figure deals for folk. Much older than me and this, that, and the other. Child, okay, so you did their damn taxes. Okay. You did their taxes. Okay. And found out that they was getting $10,000 back or this, that, and the other. Good for you. Because, Sydney, let me say this, Daddy. It looks suspicious. And I know you don't give a damn because you're married to her. And on one hand, honey, I support it all the way because we don't see brothers who take care of their wives, who stand by them like that, not in the open, and particularly not in Hollywood. Okay, and this, that, and the other. We don't see it. However, hey, baby, what's up? Hey, YouTube and live, child. I'm fine. We don't see it all the time, okay? But at the same time, brother, mixing business and pleasure, your family life and your business life, everybody can't do business together. And we all know there's the one thing they always say, honey, if you want somebody to fuck up your business, hire family. Okay? And in this particular situation, go ahead and in this particular situation, I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. All I know is the way how it looks and how it appears. It looks and appears that the common denominator in all of this is you. So I don't know how you're going to take that. I don't know what you're going to do with it. I don't know whatever. However, I would suggest this. You keep talking about, Monique, that I had the big white man and the white this and the white that. Well, perhaps maybe your husband needs to be your husband and you need to hire a black manager, someone who has proven themselves, someone who has clout, someone who has this. Because when you Google Sydney's name, honey, Sydney doesn't have a Google account. I mean, his name doesn't come up under much of anything outside of being a producer for the things that you guys have produced. And an actor. Yes, he was an actor in Fat Girls. Okay, he was an actor in The Five and producer of The Five or whatever. He has an IMDb page as a producer, but you got 5 or 6 credits on there. Otherwise than that, Sydney's name doesn't come up under anything. So it leads to question everything about him. And now that you have problems and troubles in carrying on, sister, this is what it comes down to. Now, I'm just putting it out there because this is how the general public is seeing this. Now the power to the people, children are sitting up there saying, that everybody's just jealous. You even get Sister Black Girl and carrying on. Well, I always say, well, where's your husband? Where's your man? And then you want to neck roll and shit because, okay, I got a man. Okay, Shantae, you got a man. But now it becomes, if everybody telling you about this, that, and the other girl, maybe perhaps they don't have men because they were fucking up their shit. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not saying that your husband is just fucking up your shit. However, I will say this. Every time that something has been said about somebody being difficult, it has been not Monique being difficult. It has been Monique because of your team. Now, I said this before. The very first time that I heard you being difficult, honey, was right at the end of the whole Monique show. When B.E.T. let y'all go or whatever, either they let you go or the contract ended, however that was. When that ended, that was the very first time that I heard about anything about you being difficult. That had nothing to do with Precious. That had nothing to do with nothing. The first time I heard it came from the Monique show and the B.E.T. execs. So I don't know what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what's out there in the street because that's how I heard it. So now, sweetheart, you take offense to that as you should because this is your man and you don't want nobody to ill speak on it. At the same time, I'm taking offense to it. I'm going to tell you to sit back and look. Because if everybody's saying the same thing, honey, somebody's telling the truth somewhere. Ain't that what your mama told you? I know mine told me that. Everybody who's saying the exact same thing, everybody can't be wrong. And if you choose that, like I said before in my other video, honey, stand in it. If this is how y'all go do business, then stand in it and take it come what may. So that means on both sides. They need to understand this is how y'all do business, and y'all need to understand what kind of offers are going to come in, and this, that, and the other. So be that as it may. I wish that they did not cut your time. I blame that on the producers of The View because all that day I would have wanted to see that discussion of you and Whoopi go back and forth because that there is something that needs to go back and forth. That should have been public, I think, because you still did not address the issue that it has come up that you said you don't think she's a comedian. And I'm hoping that was a misinterpretation of your words and somebody did a slant on that because I wanted that to be cleared up. And I'm sure that would have came up. But then again, no, I'm not. I want to be sure. Let me put it that way. I want to be sure because you said y'all talked beforehand. Y'all talked in that dressing room and you didn't say y'all had that particular conversation. So I want to be sure that would have come up. Okay, and I'm almost certain because I know Sunny probably would have said something about it because she's one of those girls who will research that and carry it on. So with all of that, honey, right fight, wrong tactics, and you dead wrong as hell for calling Charlemagne that, giving him that reference like that. I totally disagree with that. I disagree with those children who want to call everybody coons and buck dancing and carrying on because they don't support you. I'm tired of you feeling as though the black community ain't doing right. And like I said, you need to sit down there and look at that. You asking po folk to boycott their brand of entertainment, their only source of entertainment for the most part, so you could get a bigger paycheck. And then you want to disguise it as, oh, I'm doing this for the greater good. You may be in the long run, but the first thing is first. You're trying to get your coin. You want to get your coin. And then if I accept it, if I were to accept that, what would the children behind me to accept? See, that's personal. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You're trying to secure you first so that that's personal. Okay, and Charlemagne was right on that. All that became personal. But now the fight is, Miss Thing, what is it? Because I don't even think y'all know anymore. Okay, outside of saying this is for equality. No. I don't think that's what the fight is anymore. Because it was, I want equal pay as the legends because I'm a legend. Now it's become, oh, it doesn't have to be that, according to Daddy. It doesn't have to be that because it doesn't have to be the definitive 20 million or the definitive 13 million. We want to make sure she gets paid a fair amount that's going to sustain her for the 2 years that she's going to sit down and ask to fulfill that contract. See, that's a whole different fight. So define it. What is it going to be? Okay, and this whole thing about Netflix boycott, girl, ain't nobody, the few people that's going to boycott at Netflix don't give a damn. It's not going to have enough weight. It's not going to have enough weight. And then let me also say that I'm going to end with this, and I want you to, this here, I'm sure you're going to disagree with this, but I'm going to say it anyway, and I keep fucking with my lips because they're dry as hell. Your whole career was built on the proud effervescence of you being a big woman. Ever since you lost the weight, the skinny bitch that you said was so hateful and this, that, and the other, you have just become. I don't know if it's psychological or whatever, but ever since you lost that weight, it has been all these rumors and stuff coming up. She's difficult to work with. She's this, she's that. And I wonder if there's any correlation. It may not be. I know for me, as I'm watching you on television or whatever, and all these shit, as it starts to unfold in the public, it is a correlation. And it's too coincidental to be a coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences. It's too coincidental to be a coincidence that ever since you become the smaller you, now all of a sudden you become difficult to work with. And you become this and you become that. Okay. Now, Kim Whitley said just the other day on Sister Circle Live that you've always been the person who fought for the underdog. She said that's been Monique. She's always been that kind of person. So what has changed over the time? Because if this has always been you, then sister, something has got to be, because if you were never difficult to work with before, why are you difficult now? Okay? That's my question. And I don't want to hear nothing about this. That Oprah shit. Listen, everybody wanted to be I said I didn't finish this point. Everybody wanted to be the bigger person. Get your ass on that motherfucking phone. Call that bitch. You want to sit down there and take it publicly and carry on. And then, listen. Everybody want to jump on this, and I knew this was going to be a blur when she sit down there and talking about negativity. You don't attack negative with negative. And you want to sit down there where she attached my name to it. What the fuck does suck my dick, bitch, if I had one is positive? Huh? And you want to sit down there and say this, that, and that. You want to sit down there, call her all kinds of bitches and shit in your comedy thing. You want to sit down there and continue to sit down there and say, oh, well, her speech, she could get down there and do this speech at the Golden Globes or whatever. But when was the last time she was at the black woman thing? Or when was she at the B.E.T. calling for equality? When did she do this? When did she do that? Y'all want to sit up there talking about what she ain't done for the black community and carrying on her show. Y'all want to sit down there and talk about something. Oh, well, her master classes, there ain't enough black folks. And I sent y'all that in the email. Y'all didn't do y'all homework on that. More than half of the master classes have all been black. In fact, one entire season was nothing but black folks in master classes and carrying on. So see, you got a personal dig with her. A personal dig. And you want to talk about something that's not negative. You just want her to tell the truth. Y'all on this whole hashtag shit. Hashtag tell the truth. Y'all got a fucking hashtag movement, but yet y'all want to come half-ass your damn self. That's not cool. That there is not cool. So whatever is in the dark that y'all need to handle, bitch, get on the phone and call her. Y'all got each other's phone number. Blow her goddamn cell phone up. That's what you do. Blow that shit up. Bitch, call me. Call me, because we need to talk. Call me, because we need to talk. I got a beef with you. Call me, because we need to talk. And do that shit privately so you could hash it out and get it over with and done with. The whole thing with Tyler, now Tyler's a little different. And the reason why I'm going to give you Tyler's thing, because you said you were going to go public with the conversation. You said he agreed and knew it was going to happen. Y'all said what he said. He said, according to you, he was going to come public when the movie finished. That was fucking October. Boo came out for Halloween. Bitch, we up on St. Patrick's Day. This is March. This is my birthday. This is March. This is St. Patrick's Day. October was, 6 months ago? 5-6 months ago? And he still ain't came out yet. So yeah, I say pressure that one, because yeah, he gave you a promise that he hasn't fulfilled. So I got you on that. Yeah, call that shit out all damn day. We waiting on you. Where you at? You said after the movie. Okay, you're about to release another one. Shit. Taraji's new movie with him about to come out now. So is it still too hot? I'm with you with that. I got you all day with that. The whole thing with Lee Daniels. Now, Lee, that's a queen, honey. That bitch ain't gonna do shit until it's ready. Now y'all should know that you're gonna have to take a different approach on that. I don't understand why you added Lionsgate into all of this. Lionsgate had, from what I'm understanding, Lionsgate, because they were the distributor and maybe the part of the money behind it. Now you keep adding shit. See, before it was Lee Daniels, then it became Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler. Now it became Lee, Oprah, Tyler, and Lionsgate. Bitch, what's the T? Okay. What's the T? Oh, wait a minute. I'm turning around. Wait a minute. Damn it. Where's my camera? There we go. Camera. There we go. I done dropped my phone because I got hot. So that's what this thing is here. What the hell is the fucking fight? Okay, because you keep adding shit. You're adding shit. Okay. So now, like I said, you sound like you're a fucking black woman with a vengeance and carrying on. Okay, this needs to be a black exploitation movie. Shit, why don't y'all write that and do that under Hicks Production? You could, it probably could be some. Oh, wait a minute, let me stop. Every time I see, y'all done did that to me. I'm not supposed to give ideas like that to Oscar winners because it makes you question my credentials. So let me not give that idea. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. Okay. So there is that. So I'm going to end it here because, yeah, I think I've exhaled enough on this. I've become obsessed with this. I'm always following this because it is really at a point to where it's becoming buffoonish in itself because the fight has changed. It has changed. And now it's becoming something that it should not have been in the first place. If you had started this thing, right fight, wrong tactics. If you had just came out and said, this deal is shit because you want me to sit on my ass for 2 years and not pay me, that there is where all this is, child. And we could have went from there. So on that note, wait a minute. This is security. Hey. John? Oh, well, have a seat because he's not here yet. Wait a minute, Henson. Is he? Wait a minute. Oh, he's the new guy. Oh, he got. Okay, I'll come get him. Yeah. Well, yeah, let me come get him. All right, bye. Oh, okay, that's the new guy, child. Ready to start. I got to go pick him up. So let me close this out. And that be that. So listen, children, if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me, I will entertain all of your thoughts. Just don't come out of a bag on me because if you come out of a bag, bitch, I'm coming back. Okay, we can have a discussion without it being nasty and all that kind of bullshit because I'm not into that. You know, state your point without being disrespectful. Okay, so yeah, put all your comments and stuff below. We can sit down here. We can make all this happen and make it go the right way. Okay, come on, Miss Millie. I could do it. I can make it go the right way. Come on. Yeah, since I wanted to reference the color purple in your last podcast, child. Okay, so we're going to do that. So in the meantime, and in between time, honey, you may finish all of your crumpets, darling, because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, my darlings. With big meats. Okay, if you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing will move forward. Until the next time, darling. Thank you. Ciao.